Once you finish your cereal dilutions, it's time to plate. So we need a couple of extra things for that. We need our jar of ethanol, and we're going to need a glass spreader. Just open this ethanol jar, hold it firmly, flip and then open the cap. Glass spreader goes into the ethanol. It's the ethanol that's going to do the sterilizing. Probably shouldn't keep it so near the fire, so I'm going to move it away just a little bit, but still within our workstation. And it's the ethanol that's going to sterilize our glass spreader, not the fire itself. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So usually I like to keep it in there. First thing, I'll just plunk it in there and then let it sit. We're going to adjust our pipette because when we plate, we're going to plate 0.1 mil. There are many different volumes we can plate. 0.1 mil makes for very easy math, as we'll find out later. So we're going to roll this down. And remember, 0.1 mil, 100 microliters. So I'm going to roll this until I see 100 on our dial. 100. So this is going to be 0.1 mils. We have our tips ready. Plate is labeled. Again, generally I like to use a drip sheet, but when I spread, I'm going to move this off my drip sheet. So I'm just going to turn my drip sheet like this, and then we'll see why in a second. I have all my dilutions, and then I really should have labeled this as going to be our 10 to the minus 1, but this is a demo, so it's not super important. Again, before we plate, always give it a mix, right? It's very prudent because the bacteria will settle. The only time you don't need to mix is if you had just finished mixing this after you made your dilution and then you plate right away. But usually I like to do all my dilutions first and then I plate. So I got that mixed. I'm going to grab my tip, remember, for a push. Oops, this is what I should have done first. Turn your plate lid up, okay? Normally we keep plates lid down, but this time lid up now. Flame, it's going to be a very small push, okay? First stop into the liquid, and it's just going to be a small amount of liquid that comes up, all right? It's supposed to be a small amount. And then squeeze it into the middle, second stop, done. Just like that, okay? And now we're going to spread. I'm going to move this out of the way just so we can see better. I'm going to take my spreader now. Just gently tap off the excess. People often go bang, 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 bang. Don't do that, please, right? These are quite fragile. So just roll it off like that, and then through the fire, and then let the ethanol burn, okay? Don't hold it in the fire. All we want to do is get rid of that ethanol, because if there's ethanol still on that spreader and we spread it on our plate, we're just going to end up killing all the bacteria on our plate. So I pass it through once. I pass it through again. Oh, there's blue flame again, right? And every time you see blue flame, I'm going to let it cool just a little bit. And then I pass it through again until I don't see blue flame anymore. So no blue flame. This is ready to go. I take my lid off. I would like to hold it if I can, but it's difficult. So I'm going to leave it near the fire. And then I'm going to use the plate to cool the spreader. So my drop is right in the middle. I'm just going to touch it. 4 sides like that, outside of the drop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a circular motion with my spreader while turning my plate. In this case, because I'm right-handed, my circular motion is clockwise. My plate turning is going to be counterclockwise. So it's going to look like this, just like that. Don't push too hard. If you push too hard, you will break the agar. And don't go on the edge of the plate like this. The idea is that usually what I do is I imagine like a 2/3 line here, and then I try to stay within that line, right? So to the edge and then to the middle, to the edge and to the middle, turning as I do this. Usually you do this for about 30 to 45 seconds. If you have really nice dry plates, you're going to start to feel a little bit of a resistance as the liquid absorbs into the plate. If you feel that resistance, you can stop. If you don't feel it, after 30 to 45 seconds, you're not really doing much more work. This is kind of a cold plate, so I'm probably not going to feel it. So I'm just going to do this. Let's pretend that was good, 30 to 45 seconds. Immediately lid on. This straight into my ethanol jar, and I can push this to the side. Now, lid up, off to the side. Grab my second plate that's already labeled, and then plate.